Now, this is some crazy ass video that has landed a mom in hot ass water. The video shows a mom walking into the cafeteria at Homer Davis Elementary School in Beaumont. She is looking for her son. When she finds him, she drags him out of the cafeteria and begins beating him with a belt. Apparently, the child got into some trouble with his teacher, and the mom was there to set him straight. But it's clear this woman needs some damn guidance in parenting. Not only did she beat him with that belt, she called him the N-word multiple times.
Get up, get up. Don't play with me. Let's talk to him. What you say? I'm sorry, Huh?
It was downright hard to watch and ignorant as hell. Investigators in Beaumont, Texas say CPS has taken custody of the woman's 4 children, and a 5th in Houston will also be taken away. There's also now a criminal investigation.
All of us are aware of that incident with the mom and her son, and I didn't know that she had called her son, the N-word. But I'm not surprised. I've been around, especially in my younger years. I've been around around sisters who called their daughters bitches and hoes because they said that's how they grew up and they didn't see nothing wrong with it, and as well as me and them females call their sons niggas. Some say it in a playful way, and some use it in a very abusive type of way. And that's one of the things that I've always said about the utilizing of the word nigga, because we use it in a venomous way a lot of times. We can use it as a term of endearment, but we also know how to use it to hurt and to offend. What I'm saying? We use it amongst each other, and we've always, because when you really look into the history of why blacks use it, we used it at one time, because out of habit of being called that by white people for so long. The other piece of it was used against us in a hateful way, and we began to utilize it in a hateful way to each other. And it just carried on. But now, today we try to justify why we use it, so on and so forth. And it's cool, I get it, but yet and still, the word has its origin, and the origin is what it is. But moving beyond that piece, because my main thing was this here when I come across that story, and I think about just the state and condition of the black male, and a lot of times our sisters, they have all these critiques about the black male, how he's not this or that. And I'm gonna tell you something. One of the things that I've seen and that I have an issue with is how our men definitely. Our men don't the way we carry ourselves. I know I have my thing that I've done, and they have their things that they do. But one of the things that's happened today, which I'm getting to, what I was finna say, was that like one of the lack of values for the woman, because the male is like the black male is losing value more and more and more for the black woman, and it's like the only woman he kind of has value for, and I say kind of have value for, is his mom, and sometimes not even his mom. And again, even that value is only so deep, because if I've seen sons call their mother a bitch. You know what I'm saying? And if you ever reach a point where you call your mother a bitch, again, that's a measurement of your value of a black woman. So if your mother is like the what's the word I'm looking for, the bar, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if that's like, it should get no, I guess it shouldn't get no lower. In my mind, I'm thinking your value of a woman should get no lower than that. You know what I'm saying? Or I can't say no higher. I think you can't put a peak on how much you would value someone, but I think it should definitely be like the standard. You know what I'm saying? The love I have for my mother is the love I have for a woman. Period. Right? So I would say this before I go further, that black men definitely have to look and reflect on their value for their mother, because if you don't really have a strong value for your mother for whatever reasons, justified or not, then you really have to, do some work with yourself, because again, that value for her is going to stem out towards other relationships and the way you deal with women or look at women. Again, women, that also go for you and your value for men. the value you have for your father, if you don't really have a connection with him, if you don't really have a bond with him, if you don't even know who he is, that's gonna reflect into your view of males or black men, because of, that is your first idea of a black man's love. And so, it would help, or it did help, if you had another man who come in, like a stepfather or something like that, and he was definitely a strong, loving provider and protector, and he held down his position in a loving way, then it definitely helped balance some of that out. But it makes it worse that, I had read one time how, I didn't realize it until I had read before that a lot of black females, a great majority, probably more than not, have suffered sexual assault from a black male. And 9 times out of 10, it was a black male in her family. So it was a black male that she trusted. So a lot of times when they lose their trust for black men so young, that's also a hard thing to regain. But it's very similar to the things that a young boy suffers growing up. So when you know you've experienced that, you really need to dig deeper and do some work, because if you think you've buried that and just moved on beyond that, and you haven't, because we have become a people that has learned how to make a sickness look good. We've learned how to make little look like a lot. We've learned how to make things that have lower value look like it has value. I mean, we've learned we've become masters at doing this. So we really need to go do the work and look deep into, ourselves, when we know we've come from a type of background. That's one of the things I always tell people, is that don't measure the wellness of yourself, the wellness of your psychology, the wellness of your emotional state by what you've attained on a material level, because we live in a very wicked ass world. And I'm gonna tell you something: the less you give a fuck about another human being, the more you are attained in this world. The quicker you are to cut another human being's throat, the more you will attain in this world. And all you gotta do is really look deep into the way the system is made. Look at our highest example, the highest position of our system. As an example, look at the White House, look at the presidency, look at politics, look at how twisted and all that is. Look at the courthouse, look at the people who establish the laws of this country, and so on and so forth, the people who uphold the laws, the police departments, and all that. All of it is wicked as fuck. So don't let your attainment of wealth be your that which you use to gauge your wellness by. I would say what you would use to gauge your wellness by is by what others feel about you. And I'm not saying not just anybody, but people who are in a mental and emotional state. When you go around certain people and you say, man, their energy, I love their energy. I just love being around certain people. Their energy is so beautiful. This person so beautiful. They're not conflictive. They don't be arguing. They don't be fighting with nobody. When you see people who are not, who don't live in a state of disturbance, you know what I'm saying? And you can tell by their language. You can tell by their appearance on their face. You can tell by their body language. And when I say language, I was talking about first the words that come out of their mouth. And then you can tell again by their body language. You can tell by, if you just really begin to study the signs of certain things, then you'll understand when you see it. Because a lot of people are living in a state of disharmony, but if you don't recognize the signs of disharmony, then it'll look like that's where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? You find yourself being coached and taught by somebody who are doing nothing but incorporating and programming you with a type of hell and a hell-raiser mentality inside of you, that you're going to use to go forth and to carry out and attain all the things that you want to attain in life. But you really wanna gauge yourself by the way you deal with life, the way you deal with struggles, the way you deal with turmoil, the way you deal with people, the way you deal with opposition. You really want to gauge your wellness by that. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. If your initial reaction is to hurt somebody, you know what I'm saying, just because you don't like what they said, just because you don't like maybe the way they treated you or whatever, if you want to hurt them, then that says something about your wellness. I'm telling you, man, you really have to get deep into this, because hurt people. It's for real. So if you're in a place where you know that no one else is no more imperfect than you are, then while you may want separation from the individual, while you may want to be distant from this person, you deal with them from a distance, you don't necessarily get pleasure off of causing them pain either. You got people in the world who, because they can love a person one day and want to destroy a person the next day. You know what I'm saying? And get pleasure out of it. I'm saying, not just doing it out of some emotional reaction, and even that still it goes along with what I'm saying. But you got people who actually strive to really hurt you and get pleasure. So, I say all that to say again, for the parents, for the adult is really, I'm saying all this to talk about the adult. You really need to look deep into yourself and start working on healing, male and female. But when you look at the state of black men, and you have all this criticism about the black men, you need to look also deeper into yourself in your relation with your child and the way you cultivate your child. If you got a black male and you raising one, you need to really look at how you raising him, because a mother raised that man you're talking about. A mother has something to do with him. A father has something to do with him too, whether he was there or not. But I'm saying the one who has the most immediate affection or effect on the child is going to be the mother. I got a call coming in. Anyway, that's why the mother is loved a lot. It's, I want to go as far as to say more than the father, because it's just the child, male and female, come out of this mother. And so there's a different type of connection there. So, the mother has a stronger effect on the child. So, I mean, we just really have to look at, when you look at his state, you have to look at, what are we doing? Because let me say, like that little boy in this video, she gets on him in the way she do. But just because you tell a person don't do this, that, and other, it really isn't enough to expect it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can whoop your ass all day and tell you what you shouldn't do, this, that, and other, and you tell me you won't. But it's not enough to expect it. I mean, the training starts at a very young age. If I haven't been putting discipline in my child as a toddler, if I haven't been putting discipline in my child as a toddler, and I'm not talking about like whooping their ass all the time. I'm saying talking to their creative mind. You have to start cultivating their creative mind at a very young age. You have to talk to your child like they're grown. Hey, look, I'm talking about appeal to their intellect, not with no nigga and bitch and hoe and cussing your child and all that. You destroying a very sensitive mind with all those damaging words. So we have to talk life and love into our kids to get that fruit, to get that harvest out of them. And so as we got to watch how we keep telling them, stop it, you can't do this, you can't do that, because we'll kill their drive. We'll kill the life in them by always telling them what they can't do. Kids have a very creative nature. So we need to put them in an environment where that creative nature can be cultivated in a very productive way. So when we and trust me, I understand that we have financial difficulties, this, that, and other. But we as parents have to take the responsibility and say, I cannot allow my decision, which has gotten me to this point, or whatever it may be, to be the weight or burden on my child. I have to still do what I need to do to try to make my child the best human being that I can make it. And here's one thing I want to point out as well, is that have you ever noticed how like I'm gonna say Nigerians, because I understand that not everybody from Africa is from Nigeria, but we have a large Nigerian population here in America. So I want to say Nigeria, right? But have you noticed that how, all people from Africa, whether it be Nigeria, Sudan, whoever else, right? Have you ever noticed how people from Africa, but particularly, how their kids at a young age, how they act in public environments? They're like, when I work at the barbershop too. I cut hair and listen here. I watch all the kids. I used to work inside the schoolhouses. I've worked in adolescent programs and treatment centers. I'm saying, so I understand how. What I'm saying, I've gotten a good dose of the different behaviors of kids. You know what I'm saying, in different environments, and as unfortunate it is to say, or as much as I hate to say, our kids, African American kids, are the most untamed, are the most disrespectful, are the most angry. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be the schoolhouse or wherever else, they're the one that lack the most discipline. You know what I'm talking about? So when you see these little African kids, I was about to say was that they seem to always have a level of maturity and discipline. And it's because they come out of a structured environment that cultivates discipline as a core value, a principle that you must have. You must have discipline in here. You know what I'm saying? Discipline is what you're going to have. Discipline and education, two things you're going to have out the back. Your creative mind or your common sense might not be cultivated as much, but guess what? You're going to have some discipline. Because I believe that's one of the things that do lack from our people from Africa. And I'm not saying all, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way if you hear this, but I'm saying the creative mind part isn't as cultivated as I would say. Our common sense or creative mind sometimes is a bit more cultivated because of our having to survive in the streets and stuff like that. Us having to make a little look like a lot and all that. We had to be creative in those areas, but that's not always done in a healthy way. Because what I'm talking about, cultivating the creative mind of a young child, I mean in a healthy, productive way. We have to think of a million ways to get paid on a legal tip. When I was incarcerated, that was my thinking. I know how to go get paid on the illegal side. And what's going to happen when all of the natural pressures and challenges of the world kick in? If I don't have enough legal ways to go get it, then I'm going to naturally revert back to the illegal ways. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, it's easy to do things that don't require a lot of work. And you see, everything that's illegal don't require a lot of work, a lot of discipline, a lot of fortitude and all that. So it's easy to revert back to those easier ways of doing anything. Anything. Slouching in the chair, dragging your feet. I'm talking about all those different things is examples of what I'm saying. Those are easier ways to go about doing anything. To walk, to sit down, to lay down, all that. But it's going to have a more detrimental effect on you in the future. The longer you do it, the more it's going to cost you later. You know what I'm saying? And the more you do the right thing, the more beneficial it's going to be for you later. It's like you build all this wealth up that you're going to be able to pull from later. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I want to say this to say, man, we're destroying young black males. I know I said a whole lot, but I'm saying all that to say we're destroying young black males, and then we're ostracizing them and talking down on them when they become grown. We're destroying them as a kid, though. You beating the shit out of them. You beating them physically, you beating them mentally and emotionally with your words. Man, we have to get better at that. A lot of adults, parents, mothers, and fathers are mentally and emotionally fucked up. And we got to get on top of that, man. We got to start doing our own work and start trying to heal. We have to know we fucked up, and we have to start doing the work on ourselves. Because if we keep going through life just destroying, I mean, we're gonna get that which we plant. Period. Point blank. When you suffer and die or whatever of a very violent and destructive way, it's 9 times out of 10 because that's what you done planted in the universe. That's how you live your life. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. That's how you live your life. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I say all that, say again, man, we just really got to get better in the way we cultivate our kids and stop destroying the black male We're not giving that, the young black male, we're not giving enough significance to. We destroying the young black male in a certain kind of way that we're not even understanding, and we're not taking it serious enough, and we're not giving enough attention to. We're not making it important enough. You know, we laughing and we smile. I mean, even males do. We everybody play a part in it. I was just talking to somebody the other day at the shop. When a man do try to be vulnerable and speak, he get frowned on, not only by women, but he get frowned on by his homeboy. Everybody get coming down on him. So what he do? He shut back down, and he stiffen back up. He have him another drink, smoking another square, and go back into his gangster role or whatever the case may be, his hard life role, his whatever role he go into as his defense of him. That's what he get back into, and it's very insensitive in that role. You know what I'm saying? So if we want the black male to be the king that he needs to be, I mean, he has to have an equal balance of his masculine and femininity. But it has to be cultivated. It has to be encouraged by males and females. But it can't be encouraged by someone who isn't striving for it themselves. You have to be able to recognize it and be striving to get yourself better. And that's the other problem. We always want to tell everybody else what they need to be doing, and we ain't doing no work on ourselves. We got to stop giving so much attention to external things. We want the world to change while we don't want to change. We got to start doing more work on self. Peace.